We are live.
We are live. Hello, everyone. Can you hear us? Give us a thumbs up, 5x5, all the things. Hello. Yes. Can we hear you? Can you hear me?
All right. Well, I'm going to say hello to a few people while
Yes,
we're waiting
go
for
right
a
ahead.
one or
Take
a five
over.
by five. Yarn Prepper. What are you doing? What are you doing over here, Yarn Prepper? Are you moonlighting over here? Dive Frog 79 is in the house. Okie Can. B Walker, what's up? B Walker, we're gonna be done in time to go over to nutrient survival, so don't you worry
Yes,
about that.
we will.
B Baz, Mitch J. Who else do we have in the house? Prepping Survival's here, and he gave us a 5x5, Michelle.
Great.
I think we're good
Prepping
to go.
survival.
Jan is here too. JT. All my ladies are here today.
Everybody is here. The gang's all here.
Miss Worm is missing though, but we got 75% of the Alaska Prepper moderators here today.
Yeah. Yes. Well, I am overly excited and very happy that you are here to join me and all my favorite people to talk about whatever we can talk about in the amount of time we have.
I appreciate you inviting me over here.
Yes,
so
yes. It is very exciting. I don't know how long I've been following you, but I have learned a lot of things, new things from you. And it's been very nice to see also another person, another veteran who is a giving, caring person for other people, because I'm very passionate about helping others.
Yes,
I'm a deal seeker, and I know that you love your deals, and so do I. That is one of the biggest things I love to do is save money. And if I find a lot of good clearance deals, I donate them to the food pantries in the area, or we have a free fridge and freezer in downtown by our police station.
Oh, really?
Where it's 24 hours. You can go up there, no questions asked, and it's a refrigerator, freezer, and pantry. So
that's awesome.
Yes, that is very nice. But a lot of our larger food pantries have been closing, unfortunately, because of lack of donations. And I know that you've got the same up there. I watch all the time whenever you go to drop off donations at the food pantry that you help out up there. And it's, I understand.
We're really lucky up here. Our food pantry is really lucky because the community has really stepped up. As you know, after they cut out I believe it was the CARES Act, which provided supplementation to food banks during what I call the health crisis. That ran out, and the food bank up here, at least I can speak for this one, they stopped receiving that federal help, which in my opinion, it's a good thing. I would rather our food pantry, our food banks get community help, and that's it. We should take care of each other and not have to depend on the federal government or any type of government.
Yes, I agree with that. Very much so. I don't ever want to have to depend on them for anything, and I don't get anything from them. So that is fine with me as well. I'd rather do all the hard work that I put in the 35 plus years of all the ups, downs, mistakes I've made. And I have upped my game a little bit more just because you, again, have inspired me to do more investing in other things besides just my food preps or long-term storage. So precious metals has been a huge commodity.
Buying silver and gold is not really investing, Michelle. Buying silver and gold is all you're doing is you're converting, this paper, this fiat currency, you're converting it into real money and something that's actually going to preserve your purchasing power instead of stealing it from you. So, but that, in my opinion, that is one of the best ways for anyone to preserve their, what I like to call excess wealth. Because if you're not fully prepared to the point where you can confidently say, yeah, I'm going to be good for 6 months. I'm going to be good for a year. Me and my family, we're going to be fine. To me, that's not fully prepared if you can't say that. And in my opinion, you shouldn't be purchasing or transferring your fiat notes into gold and silver. You should be getting prepped, because it's true what people say. You can't eat gold and you can't eat silver. Well, you can eat it, but you're not going to really get any nutrition out of it. But
Right.
it's true that they say that, you can't eat gold, you can't eat silver, right? So,
Mhm.
in my opinion, gold and silver is really something that you do with excess wealth, meaning that you should be prepared with all of the things that you need first
Mhm.
before you start putting fiat currency into gold and silver.
That's exactly what I have done because
Yeah,
I
good.
have, like I said, I shared lots of mistakes I made when I was much younger, you know, and so I learned the hard way about how to do things as far as preparedness goes with long-term storage food. I didn't really know what I was doing in the beginning, but I learned the hard way and expensive way through the years what to do.
Yeah,
And there weren't very many long-term storage companies out 35 plus years ago. But now they're
right.
getting better, especially Nutrient Survival. I cannot wait to try
Yeah,
some of their things and see if those are things I'm going to be able to add to my long-term storage. And I'm always looking for deals, always the best
yeah.
prices. I share them whenever I find them. I have invested in, I think I have my fourth solar generator now, and that's
Nice.
been within the last 4 months. And
That's
we're getting ready
awesome.
to move into our own place. My daughter and I, my daughter's differently abled. If you don't know that, a lot of people do. I talk about her a lot. So prepping with a differently abled young adult is a lot harder than just a typical, you know,
Sure.
family
Sure.
member.
Now, can I ask you, do you have a gasoline or propane generator also?
I do not yet, but I will.
Okay.
With
Well,
my
have you heard me talk about my ideology behind that?
yes,
Yeah, I do believe that you ought to have a gasoline generator or a propane generator first, because
yes,
depending on where you live, and even if you live in an area that's sunny a lot, you never know
very
what can happen. You never know if the sun is going, if we're going to have a lot of cloud nucleation over that area, et cetera, et cetera. It's just something that's going to make sure that you're going to have that energy that you need when you need it, instead of having to depend on a force that you cannot control.
right.
So
Well, we are in Michigan, the Mid Thumb area,
okay,
obviously Mitten State, Mitten Prepper. So we're in one of the largest counties in Michigan that used to be one of the top three wealthiest counties in our state. And I
Grand
don't think
Rapids.
no, it's Oakland County.
Okay,
And so this county used to be considered one of the top three most wealthy counties in the United States at one point in time, but not anymore. A lot of businesses are gone because of
yeah,
I call it the My Sharona. So
yeah.
ever since then,
I lived in Michigan for about a dozen years.
did you?
Yeah, before I joined the army, I lived in Michigan for about a dozen years. Are you familiar with Dean Foods?
Yes.
I
Yes.
used to work. I used this is going down,
Yeah.
many many years ago. I used to work. I used to be a superintendent for Dean, or a supervisor.
Uh-huh.
Like a foreman for Dean Foods for a little over a decade. So you
Yeah.
probably drank some milk that
I'm
I
sure I
was
did.
processing when I lived there.
Awesome. Yeah, well, Gray Man was in Michigan as well in parts
Yeah,
of his life, and so that is another thing we have in common, I guess. So I like the area I am in. I stay in this area because of the services for my young adult. She's now a young adult. She's 18 years old. She received a certificate of completion from high school. So in
awesome.
this area here, they have an adult transition program
Yeah.
that she can attend for 8 more years, and they teach
Okay.
life skills, which is what she needs.
Well,
So
good, good.
she's been having a blast and being spoiled by doing some work experience at two coffee shops, which are
Awesome.
our favorite things, which is coffee. So
Got to have that coffee.
gotta have coffee. I'm a coffee lover. So definitely got that prepped up. But yes, I have been adding more and more things. We did have a 5-day power outage up here in Michigan with tornadoes that touched down about half a mile from where I'm at, right in
Wow.
downtown. We're half a mile to get to the downtown area in my city, and there was a tornado or two that touched down, and our power was out for 5 days. And luckily, we did have a gas generator to power the chest
Good.
freezer and the refrigerator after a day or so. But I have to say that I'm really glad at least I had my solar generators, because those helped with a lot of different, things.
What kind of solar generators do you have?
I have, let me see, I have 4 different brands. Let me see. I'm trying to think of it. They're not name brand ones, but they are,
Okay, I mean that's fine. I mean,
yeah, they're not name
really,
brands.
really solar generators. Nowadays, since there's so much competition, if as long as they have the proper components, in my opinion, like a life pole battery, I would love for them to make it where they use UPS for like everything, uninterrupted power supply. That would
Yes.
be great. And also for them to be able to allow you to add external batteries. That would be great also.
Yes.
But
These do
yeah.
not, but I did, when I was, getting ready, I had lost out on a house back in July, like the day before a closing date that did not go through. So, but this place here that we're going to be in, I will be getting a gas generator to go. But the hard part is that with my disabilities, as being a disabled veteran, is my hands and my strength is not what it used to be. So for me to be able to get it up on my deck area, and of course I have a carbide that you can't cut through. I have carbide locks. So, I have all
Okay.
the means to do that, and security
Well,
systems to be put in
you know
again.
what? Maybe we can talk about that on the other side. When we're
Mhm.
done, we can
Sure.
talk about that one by one, and maybe we can come up with some ideas for you.
Yeah.
Because
Well,
there's a
we're
couple
going.
ideas I have for specifically that
Hmm.
that would probably work for you. And then if you do end up doing it, you can do it on. You can show a review of it on your channel.
Yes, I definitely have a long list of things that need to be done as soon as we get to move in. Hopefully, our close date will be a week from tomorrow.
Awesome!
And
Congratulations. That's
thank you.
awesome.
I'm excited because it is the largest size home that I've ever been in, and it's only 2 streets over from where I'm at right now.
Okay,
And it's
cool.
so we have just my daughter and I and a couple fur babies, 2 dogs and 1 cat, and we're only going to be like 30 seconds to get over here where we're at right now, where one of my best friends lives, where we're at. So if I need help, if he's in town, that's perfect. But I also want to be able to be self-sufficient, because I haven't been able to be on my own for the last 5 years almost. And this is a very exciting thing. And we have
Good.
a house that we're moving into is a little bit overwhelming to me because it is 1,750 square feet, and it's just my daughter and I. So, but I have lots of storage room
Man,
available.
you'll have plenty of room to do some more prepping.
Oh, I have it all mapped out already. I am such a planner. I have every room planned out. I have all the people waiting to come and do the things, my security system, cameras, 2 systems. Uh, all the A2s they have their home already planned for them, and all the things. So I'm very excited
Good.
about that. But I wanted to ask you, I never really heard exactly how many years you have been prepping.
Not that many compared to you. Not nearly
Really?
that many. No,
And I
not at all. I had I'm a late bloomer. My awakening did not occur till I was in my mid 30s, and then I did not fully wake up till I was in my like late 30s.
Wow.
So I would say that
Okay.
I've been preparing probably I've been a prepper, I guess you can say, right?
Uh-huh.
Of that mindset. Let's see, probably since about 2002, 2001,
Okay.
something like that.
Well,
Yeah, so it hasn't
mine.
been terribly long, but I mean, 20 years, I guess you can say.
Hmm.
No, so
Yeah.
no, I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry. About 2010, 2011.
Okay.
Only about 10 years or so, not 2002.
So
Yeah.
I'm older than both you and Gray, and I've been prepping longer. So I
Are you
feel old.
really?
Yes, I
I
am.
don't want to ask you your age, but I'm 51. You're older than I am?
I'll be 52 in December.
Well, good for you. That's awesome. You done good. You done good, Michelle.
I do my best, and anything that looks like a missing hair, it's because I have a very
Well,
outspoken young adult.
I lied. I lied. I'm not really 51. I'm only 27. I've just had a really rough life.
Yeah, that's fine. Yes, yeah. I'm not good at following the chat once I start gabbing on here. So if anybody has any
I guess
questions,
that's another thing that we have in common.
I'm not
Hey,
good with
Prepping by
doing that.
Faith is here. How you doing, Prepping by Faith? Good to see you.
Yeah, I got to put this little thing up here, this little reminder. If there's a question, to put it in all caps, because if I don't see a bunch of stuff out of the corner of my eye, I'm going to miss it. And I will definitely miss it if I'm just chatting away. And the other thing that I loved about when I first started following you was seeing what a giving person you are and how passionate you are to help other people, whether it be learning how to prep or how to find good deals on things that you think should be stocked up and prepped up for people.
You know what? I tell you what, I love it. I really do. I love it. You have a lot of people out there that are haters that are like, oh, you just doing this because you make money on YouTube. I'm like, yeah, I do make money on YouTube, and I love it. And JT is here.
Yeah.
And JT can tell you, because she's one of my OGs. She's a pre-50, right? She's a pre-50 subscriber, community member to the Alaska program. I remember saying when I got monetized, right? I remember saying, man, imagine if one day, it's so funny. I said, imagine if one day I have 100,000 subscribers. Imagine all of the awesome giveaways we can do and all of the charity we can do. And you know, God has his plans, right? So here we are. Well, it's a wonderful thing. I mean, it really is. It's a great thing. I love doing it, man. It brings me so much joy. And what some people don't understand is that you just can't take it with you. So, you know, better help humanity while you're still here.
And that is myself. I've shared a few videos that, you know, I started dumpster diving long ago when I was a young broke soldier trying to live on my own, pay all the bills. I was going to college, working 4 jobs, and I was still, you know, that was my goal. I was dumpster diving for coupons so that I could have extra money to buy things and set them aside. That's some of the things I shared in my top 5 mistakes. But I also have been, you know, collecting pet foods and things from various stores. I won't name their names because I don't want them to know it's me that's coming to get the goodies they throw out and waste when there's, you know, all these animals hungry.
There's a lot to say about that, because I think I was watching David Dubine from Adapt 2030, and he mentioned the statistics that is incredible. He said that in the United States, about 40% of the food that is produced in the United States goes to waste.
Mm-hmm.
And that is like true. Really a terrible thing, you know?
It is. So, because there's a lot of things. I've done dumpster diving for food at various stores, and I had to stop because I broke my ribs 3 different times. So my doctor said, no more doing that, because I broke the left ribs, a couple of those twice, and the right side. And then she said, you're done. Don't do it anymore. But I did have, you know, I love donating to the different organizations in the area and the food pantries as well, whether it's clothing. I minimalized a lot of things that we don't really need anymore. I finally gave up on the clothes of mine that were too big for me that I held on for 2 years because I'm a smaller person than I used to be. I used to be a very energetic, workout 7 days a week and compete in fitness person until I could no longer do so. And
well, I don't have that problem. I don't have to give any of my clothes away anytime soon.
But it was a good thing because I have more room for preps. So I don't have clothes, you know, I have a very small capsule wardrobe, and I make more room for preps, and I sold off a lot of things, and that helped me save to invest in precious metals, more preps, more long-term preps, my solar generators. I've went through all the difficult things. I gave up, you know, conveniences to make sure that I can get what I need to have for my family. So a lot of people don't want to do the hard work, unfortunately, but you know, hopefully they're not the ones that come to my door.
those that want to be saved will be saved, and those that don't, then it is what it is.
Yes, it is definitely not an easy thing to do if people are on a fixed income, especially, but I have sold off everything not nailed down in my life many times.
What I mentioned several times, I say, if you need well, first of all, you know, I don't like to hear people say I can't do this. I see it so many times. I see it, and I know it's going to happen again.
Right.
I'm doing a review video for tomorrow It might be out tonight, but it might be out tomorrow. I'm doing a review video, and I can already tell you that there's going to be some on the chat saying, I can't afford this. I can't get this.
Right.
And I like to tell those people, instead of saying I can't get this, tell yourself, what can I do in order to get this? If it's something that you really want or something that you really need, don't keep yourself from getting it by telling yourself you can't get it because you've already lost. Instead, tell yourself, what can I do to get this? Can I sell this? Can I sell something that doesn't bring any value to my life and use that money to get this that does bring value to my life? Or can I go drive DoorDash or whatever, right?
Start a YouTube channel was a suggestion you said.
Yeah, stop telling yourselves that I can't, because as soon as you say I can't, then you won't. Yes. And you know, a lot of people also put in the comments like, you know, I'm too poor to do this, and I just don't like hearing that word poor, because poor is a state of being, a state of mind. Right? Poor is a state of mind, and being broke is a state of being. And you can change your state of being. You can change being broke, but you can't change being poor.
Right.
So stop considering yourself as being poor. Instead, you're just broke, but that's something that you can do about, right? You can do something about that.
Right. Well, that's the thing. That's a lot of the things that I've done. I've lived off my preps before, and that was, oh gosh, I was in my 20s still, because I had to change jobs. And when I moved and I was too far away from a job that I had, and I worked in dentistry for 31 years, as well as all the other different things that I did with military and whatnot. But I had a period of time, I was 3 months that I had to go and do temp work for offices until I found a permanent position. And if I would not have had my preps, I would have been a very hungry person. I was by myself then. And I had pets to feed though, but I stocked up. I had everything under the sun because it was mostly free back then.
And that's what it's for. You know, most people use their preps not for the end of the world, not for the apocalypse, not for a systemic crisis, but most people that use their preps end up using it for their own mini crisis, a loss of job, you get hurt and you can't work, whatever reason. But that's what most preps are used for. Do I believe that we're going to need our preps in the future for something that's going to be of a systemic nature? I believe so. Right?
I do too.
But most people do use their preps for, like, look at Florida right now. I'm sure that there's a lot of people in Florida that if they have a generator are very, very happy that they have a generator. If it didn't get flooded away, that is. There's some things you can't do anything about.
My dogs are letting me know that someone is outside the area here.
Okay, maybe they didn't recognize the voice.
Yeah.
My voice.
Well, yeah. Well, my best friend, Mark, he told me he was going to be home about this time. And I said, I'll just warn everybody that my little Yorkie is out there protecting the household,
dog.
Yeah, she's the tiniest, oldest thing, but she acts like she's a Great Dane or something like that. She's a hoot, but yeah. So I wanted to ask if there was any mistakes that you made when you were first prepping.
Oh, absolutely.
About things that you purchased, the wrong things or too much or didn't.
Oh my goodness, I made so many mistakes. Yeah. I mean,
I'm not alone.
Oh, I forgot. I remember. I forgot the name of that long-term food storage. It starts with a G. Go something. I still have it. It's a 25-year shelf life. I still have it, but I purchased a whole bunch of that stuff and I never tasted it. I tasted it. I actually reviewed it on this channel when I first started because I went and I dug out a couple of packs. Man, I forget their darn name. I think it's go something. I forget their name.
Yes, but, I know who you're talking about. It's probably who I did the same thing, but I did not.
They're still around. I don't think they're still around.
I don't think they are because I remember ordering their like 24-hour or whatever bundles they had that came in totes and stuff, and you could just put them under your bed.
That's what I did.
The places I lived in, some of them, there was no place away from the outside walls, and we either get 90-degree weather in the summer, but right now I'm freezing already because I've already had my winter clothes out because it's been 40s in the morning. But I did not know we're
I was
not, I
gonna
didn't
say,
store them properly.
I'm sorry. Yeah. Well, the good thing is that when I tried it, it actually wasn't bad. It was
Yeah.
actually good. But
I
thinking
know
back,
the
I was
brand you're
like,
talking about, and I cannot
yeah,
remember
yeah.
it.
But
I know
thinking
we'll think
back,
of
I
it
was like,
later.
man, maybe I should have tasted that. Maybe I should have tasted it when I first
I
got it
did
just to make
taste some,
sure.
and it was not very good.
The one that I had was edible. It was edible, but I still have it because it has a 25-year shelf life. So I still do have it. I won't get rid of it. At the very least, I can use that to give away.
Yeah, well,
So
mine has long passed the 25-year mark since I bought it in my beginning part of prepping with long-term storage foods. And so that was 35 years ago.
do you still have it?
No.
Oh,
And
you
when
should have kept it and tried it. I would love to
I
see
did
how that
try
does
them,
after the 25 years.
I did try them, and it was actually, let me see, it was since I've been in here. I've been in here 5 years, and I had purchased those. So that was over, I want to say it was close to either the 25 years or it was after the 25 years. And I
Oh yeah,
did open some up. The coffee, I could not drink the coffee. It
yeah.
was
The
not good
coffee's
at
not
all. It
good.
was,
Yeah,
oh, the coffee creamer, I would have rather
yeah.
went without creamer.
Well,
It
some
was,
of those foods last a very long time too. I'm not sure if you ever saw the video where I reviewed a number 10 can of Noah's Ark, which
was
was
that in the window outside, or it was, you left it out in the cold or in the sun,
no,
or
no, not that.
no?
This is a
Okay,
couple
different
years
one.
back. This is about a year or two back.
Okay.
Noah's Ark was like, I think they were the very first long-term food storage company, if not right next to Mountain House. And Dick over at the coin shop, he had purchased some all the way back there in 1973, I think it was, or
Wow.
76. And he still had them.
Wow,
And
we were
I
babies
bought,
back then.
yep, I bought 4 cans from him.
Hmm.
And I reviewed a couple of the cans, and they were still good after 46 years.
Wow.
And I opened a can of tomato crystals, so like
Hmm.
tomato powder,
Yeah.
and I still have it. I use it every once in a while.
Wow.
It was
Great.
still good, and it is actually really super high quality tomato. They call it tomato crystals, but it's the same thing as tomato powder. Very
Oh.
high quality, very, very good tasting, and it's 46 years old.
Hmm.
So yeah, I mean, if you store it right, and he didn't even store it right. He told me that most
I
of
don't think
that
any of
food,
us have.
yeah, well, he told me that most of that food's life that he had put away was outside on a shed. It was
Wow.
living outside in a shed through the winter,
Wow.
through summers. He told me it had made like 3 or 4 moves because he'd
Huh.
had it for 40 plus years,
Yeah, that's the hardest
and it was
part for
still
me right
good.
now. Right now is I'm only moving 2 streets away, but I have everything around me except for my flag behind me, my flag stuff behind me. I have long-term storage here, and over there. So I'm in the
Okay.
long-term rotating pantry
Yeah.
freezer room,
Yeah, you
but this
need to
is only one
rotate
space.
everything. Yeah. You know what? Believe it or not, I even rotate my nutrient survival.
Yeah,
I eat some
I'm
of it
looking
every
forward.
day, but I rotate it because, well, I mean, it's easy for me to do it because I eat this stuff almost every single day, so it's
Okay.
easy for me to rotate that. But I mean, you should be rotating everything that you have put away, as far as your pantry and all those things. I can
Yes.
understand that if you put away a 5-gallon bucket of rice and you do it properly, or some freeze dried foods, it's got a good 25-year shelf life. Hopefully you're
Hmm.
storing it properly. I can
Right.
understand if you're not rotating through that stuff because it's really not its purpose. Its
Right.
purpose is to be put into what I like to call it deep freeze, right? Put it away until you actually need it. That's its purpose. But you should really be rotating through everything.
Yes,
Uh, you
that is
know,
one thing I look forward to is having more space. I have a lot of extra space. Like I said, it's too much. It's overwhelming the size of it, the place that we're moving
don't
into.
worry
But
about it. You'll fill it up.
yes,
You'll fill it up.
I will be doing.
It's like George Carlin used to say, "What's a house? A house is a box that you fill up with stuff, and when it gets over full, you get a bigger box, and then you fill it up with more stuff."
Yeah, well, at least it'll be easier for me to have a little bit more organization just because I have things tucked everywhere here. But when it's my own place, I have dedicated areas that will be holding all the things, and I
Good.
love all the things. So I have been going through and, if there's some things that I find that I know that I cannot keep or don't need to keep. I've been donating them for the food pantries.
Good.
If they're things that are still in date or close within the dates, they're getting donated to the various places in my area, and also with the animal shelters and stuff like that. If I have anything I come across, I always donate for them. But I look forward to seeing your new projects in the spring, whenever you guys get spring up there, because it seems like our weather here in Michigan is getting to be the same as your weather in Alaska. I think you guys had warmer weather one year than we did here in Michigan.
Actually, last year was a pretty mild winter.
Yes, and
I
think
don't even think I saw -35 last year. I think maybe -32 or -33, which is like awesome. But in a way it's not that great, because the warmer it is, the more snow we get. And we really don't like it to get warm here in the winter. We rather stay nice and cold, because it's safer. Believe it or not, it's safer to drive on the roads when it's really super cold than when it gets a little warmer. It's a lot safer driving in the cold. So, but I think we're going to have another mild winter this year. It feels like it. But we'll see what happens. I mean, we'll deal with it. We deal with it every single year.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes. And I also my very early videos that I shared on my channel, which were terrible in the beginning, is my hydroponic units, just because we have such a short growing season here. And I don't have a lot of property, and where I'm moving, I have even less area for an in-ground garden. But I do have raised garden beds for on the deck, but I also don't get very much sun there in that spot. I have a nice big huge tree right where I'd want the sun to be for these outdoor raised garden beds. But my hydroponics, I'm going to see, I have about 12 to 14, maybe 16 units that I grow. And I did all of them last winter, and they worked out really great. I wonder
if you can use grow lights outside for those shaded areas outside in your house.
Well, I have enough room in my house that I can do it inside.
Okay.
And if need be, if I can get my solar generators charged up and use those for when I have them running, maybe that'll offset some of my, if I get a chance to recharge them with my solar panels, that'll help me with the electricity bills I know are going to be insane, and the heating bills.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Because I know everything is going up and people are already complaining.
Yep. It's going to get a lot worse too.
Of course, I'm going to have to cough in the middle of this conversation here. But yes, I'm excited to see your chicken coop and your new
infamous chicken coop that I've been building for the last 5 years.
Yeah.
I think next year is going to be it. Right now, JT and Yarn Prepper are probably rolling their eyes. They're like, oh yeah, here we go again. He's going to build it next year. We'll see. Yeah, I've got the floor and I've got one wall done. Okay.
Yeah, I saw that.
So I'm about 1/4 of the way done. So we'll see what happens.
It'll be exciting. I think the new area you chose, the other area you chose, is a better idea when I saw you visit that other farm or the homestead. Because
it's going to be a lot better to put it over there. Yeah, absolutely.
I think that'll be great. And I'm looking.
And I want my chickens. I want them to be happy, man. I want them to have really good lives, and I want them to give me eggs and go and do all their pecking. I love watching chickens do their thing. I just think it's so entertaining.
Yeah,
and I mean that right there allows you to see what a boring person I am. That I can actually I can sit on my deck here and watch chickens peck at each other for hours.
Yeah. Well, I like doing the same kind of things. So I'm looking forward to hopefully doing I'm going to be starting some sprouting. I'm going to do seed sprouting because I'm mostly vegetarian, but through the years, I've added in some more things. And so I have I started pressure canning again, and I haven't done that since I was a young girl when my grandmother was still alive. She was born in 1908. And so she was a Depression era person. And so I was brought up as, she taught me how to do everything: cooking, cleaning, laundry. Good. They always prepped young ladies for being a wife back then. That's how she grew up. Yeah. So, and she always told me I was going to be a great nurse because I took care of her from the age of 8 until she passed away when I was 16.
That's what I tell my daughter.
Yeah.
My daughter, she's 15 and she doesn't know what she wants to do in college, and that's fine. You know, I'm not rushing her or anything, but I told her, I was like, man, you would make a great nurse because she has very good bedside manners. You know,
Yeah,
like
I couldn't do a lot of things in nursing. I love people, and I took care of my grandmother, and having to do rotations in the nursing home, I just cry all day. And if it was animals, I'd be the same way. If animals are hurt, people, older people that are not kept, you know, that nobody cares for them or comes to visit them. So I switched to dentistry. And
my daughter is the same way. She's very emotional.
Yeah, I could not do it.
She takes it too far. She's kind of a drama queen sometimes.
Yeah,
But,
I can cry easily. So I switched to dentistry, and I worked my way up and was doing full mouth reconstruction for 31 years. And, you know, working on a patient for 7 to 9 hours straight to do that.
I love watching that kind of stuff.
It was, you know, and the people, you know, when they would cry, when I got to show them their final smiles, totally rebuilt, and their whole life changed. And that was my passion until I could no longer do it, which is unfortunate. I still miss it, but I can't really do it. My hands don't hold the instruments anymore, and I don't think they want me to be having anything in their mouth that I can't do properly.
I always bring my dentist office. I always bring them cookies and
we'd have that too. We loved our we loved our patients. They would bring us all kinds of goodies, and we had 22 of us employees in the office for one dentist. 22 for one. Wow. We were very busy.
That's a superstar dentist right there.
Well, she was a 4'11" tall little fireball, and so awesome. we worked our buns off, but we got rewarded very well for the hard work that we put in.
You know what? I have no ill will towards any sex in the dentistry, industry, but I refuse to go to a male dentist.
They're not as good with.
I had at least with me. I can't speak in general terms, but with me, I've had some really, really bad experiences with male dentists. And I told my wife, I said, I will never, ever go to a male dentist again. So when I retired from the Army, my wife had to find us a dentist. So she found us a dentist in town, and the entire staff is all female.
Right. And, that's us.
That's the first thing I asked my wife. I was like, is it a male or a female dentist? And she's like, female dentist. I'm like, all right, cool.
Yeah.
Man, they're awesome. Yeah. I actually enjoy going there because I really like them a lot. Like, they're all really, really good, and they're very nice. And I try to spoil them with stuff, with, cakes and stuff, but they do such a great job, and they have that touch, they have the Midas touch.
Yes, we do. I have to say that.
Yeah, I had an experience where I lost my front teeth, and in the military, the dentist that was doing some of the under the hood work is what I call it, pretty much. What you can't see now. Man, that guy almost killed me of pain. I almost died because I was in so much pain. And once he was done, he wouldn't even prescribe me ibuprofen.
Oh my goodness.
And it was a terrible experience. And then after that, I went to a female dentist who had to do some under the hood work also. And she was so awesome. She was like, is there anything that I need to know before we start? I'm like, yeah, I've had a really bad experience. I can't take any more pain in my mouth. And she's like, oh, don't worry about that. I'm going to take care of you. Man, I didn't feel a thing.
That is how we were as well. We had people come from out of state, even up from Florida, to our office here in Michigan to see the other dentist that I worked with, because she was that known by word of mouth how good she was. And we believe that females have a better eye for cosmetics when people come in and want to have, some veneers, or they're missing some teeth here and there, and they don't want to have, some false teeth and stuff and things like that. But, we make sure that they get what they want.
Yeah. And I'm sure it's not industry wide. I've been to a couple of really, really good male dentists, really good. But unfortunately, my two really bad experiences was with a male dentist, and I just can't get that. I almost have PTSD over those two dentists.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I can't get it out of my mind. But nonetheless, my wife found an awesome dentist office, and And the great thing is that our dentist is younger than we are. So hopefully she'll stay in practice before she retires for many, many more decades.
Yeah.
So
Well,
that's
we
what I'm
were all
hoping.
about our office of 22 employees. We were all about the same age range.
Yeah.
Because I
So
actually knew.
You always want to find a dentist that's a lot younger than you. That's a good dentist. You always want to find a doctor that's a lot younger, and a mechanic that's a lot younger than you.
Well, mechanics are one thing, but yes, for us, it was great because I worked my way up. Like I said, I worked for 4 different dentists in 4 different dentists while I was going to college because that's what I was doing. And I did my, I worked out at Selfridge Air National Guard Base up here in Michigan. That's where I served the families in the clinics for my military Army days up here in Michigan. But I moved around a few times, Georgia, Alabama, Texas, back up to Michigan. So I definitely don't like the bugs down south. I know that for a fact.
They don't bother me at all. I mean, mosquitoes here are pretty bad, but
cockroaches.
Oh yeah. Well, I grew up in New York.
In the south.
I grew up in New York. I know all about cockroaches. It doesn't matter how clean you are.
Yes,
because
it does
you can
not
be
matter
the cleanest person in the world, and if the house next to you has cockroaches, you're going to have them.
Yes, we had that with a duplex in Georgia, and so we told them that they needed to go away for the weekend because we're going to fog up both of them because it was a duplex that we had at the time. And yes, yarn prepper. I know it's almost time for nutrient survival, but
you know, people. A few more minutes. Calm down, yarn prepper.
Nobody shows up until the last
yarn
minute.
Prepper, stop coming over here and bullying us around, all right?
She's the mom making sure that we're kept in line or something.
She's gonna give me a hard time tomorrow on my live stream now.
But yes, so yeah, it's been great to get to know more and more about some of the channels that I love to watch a lot of channels, and I've learned a lot of new things that I wouldn't consider trying. Like I've been trying to get some things out of the freezer, and I was like, what am I going to do with this breakfast sausage? And I happened to find a channel that I watch, and she's like, oh, this is what I'm doing. And I, whatever. And I shared a little short video of it, and I was like, okay, that was good. So learning something new all the time, that is always a plus. And, sharing how, I love the fact that I put in the hard work through these years, even on a fixed income, being disabled and not able to go back to my career that I could make way more money at right now because everybody is short staffed. But, I save and scrimp and find the deals and the sales, and I've added all kinds of the things that everybody should have. Oh, yeah, I see some Seabass. Yeah. Detroit apartment when you were a young nurse. Yes, Detroit has improved a little bit, but it's mostly just full of casinos, which is not a good thing. And that was a mistake young on, being a broke soldier, working all those jobs, going to college, is using a little bit of debt. But 35 years ago, we didn't carry a ton of debt. We grew up not to use it, but if it was an emergency or we needed something really bad, then we had a little bit, we pay it off, we were good. Now I don't want any debt. I don't want any debt whatsoever.
I'll tell you what, the best feeling in the world is to be debt free.
I am totally debt free, and I love it.
That is, love it. Man, that is, I try to explain to people that your income is your greatest wealth generating tool. Because as long as you have debt, you don't really have an income. It belongs to the bank.
Correct. And I keep my money out of the bank.
You're working for a reason.
I have kept my money out of the bank long before people even knew
why I did it. Yeah, I think that's a good idea. And nowadays especially.
Oh, yeah.
I put up a video yesterday. I'm not sure if you've seen the video I put up last night.
I did, probably.
But I'll tell you what, you were it's because I was so shocked when I saw that. I was like, oh my goodness, what in the world broke? Something broke in the financial system somewhere for the 10-year bond to go down 25. It was actually 29 basis points.
Yeah.
I think in the video I said it was between 25 and 30. It was 29. I couldn't believe it. I was like, what in the world broke? And then I found out what happened in England, the Bank of England, what they did. And I'll tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, we are in the beginning of the end when it comes to this financial system. What the Bank of England just did makes me believe that in England they will have a hyperinflationary crisis. And here in the
Yes.
United States, it can go one of two ways. We can still have a deflationary crisis, which I'm thinking that's what's going to start out as, is a deflationary crisis. And then once it gets so bad, the Federal Reserve Bank will turn course and start to inflate like it's going to be epic. This is going to be a time in history where whoever's alive now and is alive 20 years from now will be able to go back and say, yep, I lived through that. We're going to be able to say that we lived through that, because it's going to be such an epic thing that happens when it finally happens. It's going to be incredible. You have to protect yourselves. If you're not protecting yourselves now by doing all of the things that you need to do, that prepper channels tell you to do, or just really common sense. It's just really common sense. Have food, have water, have medicine, have all of those things that you need, not that someone tells you that you need.
That was the other thing too. You learn along the way what you need, and make sure you only get things that you know you're going to use. If you're buying it, you better be using it. Basically, whatever you use, prep it.
And even people ask me about, should I get this and this and that for barter? And what I tell people about barter is, whenever I'm asked that question, should I get any alcohol? Should I get any cigarettes, whatever, for barter? What I say is this, and obviously you do what you want to do, but the way that I do barter is I just get more of what I already use. Because let's say that I use bar soap, right? I like using bar soap. I don't like using that liquid
body wash,
soap, whatever, right? Yeah,
see, I'm the opposite, but I've got both, obviously.
But no, I got both because when Victor was here, he used the body wash. But anyways, I like using bar soap, but I get more soap than what I get more soap, right? I put away more soap, right? And guess what? If my neighbor forgot to put away soap, guess what? I can use some of the extra soap that I put away to barter for something that maybe I forgot that he has extra of, right? Because we're all different, right? We're all different. We all use different things. And we're going to forget something here or there. Everyone does. No one's perfect in that way. So what I tell people is, if you want to have barterable stuff, just get extra stuff of what you already get. Is it a good idea to get like some spirits, like hard alcohol and things like that? In a way, yes, it is, because, you can use that for medicinal purposes. You can use that for disinfecting, tools, like, let's say, surgical tools and things like that. You can use it for different reasons instead of just drinking it. Right?
Yeah, the people who make the tinctures and things like that need alcohol for those.
Yeah,
and I don't make those.
Bit of vodka. Yeah, you need a little bit of vodka or brandy in order to make vanilla extract, right? So yeah, if you want to get some of those things, I do. I have some hard alcohol that I put away, and I really don't drink. I mean, I have
small little bottles. I have those small little tiny bottles.
I just thought of this the other day, that usually I have between 2 to 4 Heinekens a year. Usually that's about how many I average in one whole year, is about 2 or 4. Normally I have them during the summer, when it's a little bit, for those 2 weeks that it's a little warm. Fun. And I was thinking the other day, because someone asked me, do you drink alcohol? I'm like, no, not really. And I'm like, you know what? I haven't even had one Heineken this year yet. So yeah, I don't really drink. I don't drink really. And but I don't see anything wrong with having a little bit of alcohol here, just in case. And if you can barter it, then by all means barter it, because during any kind of a major crisis where systems go down, you are going to have people that are addicted to these things, who are going to need these things. And I'm not saying that from a perspective of taking advantage of them and trading alcohol for something of much greater value. But in all reality, the reason I say that is because if you know someone like that, you may be able to help them by giving them some. Because someone who's an alcoholic, if they just go cold turkey, they'll do something bad. They'll knock someone over the head to try to get it, number one, or it can really make them physically ill. So you may be able to help someone like that. And I don't really know anyone like this, but people may know. I'm sure that there's people out there that they know, or they have family members that you can really help out. And then, even with a fifth of alcohol, 750 milliliters, even with that, you can wean someone off, by giving them a smaller amount every time and be able to help them out. So
If it's
Anyway,
someone that's
that's what I would
reasonable,
do.
someone has
Yeah.
to be reasonable though. Otherwise I'll hit you
Oh
over the
no,
head with something
absolutely.
and just
Yeah.
take off with it.
Well,
I had a
they have
brother
to
that
want to
was
help
that way.
themselves. Yeah, they have to want to help
Yeah.
themselves. If not, it's for nothing, right?
Right. Yep. I don't have things for people that just want to come around and need a little something, or if they think they're going to come in and take some of my goodies, they're mistaken. So, I mean,
Yeah.
right now, I'm hoping that things will stay well enough for us to manage through all the things that are coming up, the prices,
Yeah.
the terrible food in the
Yeah,
stores,
I mean,
all that stuff.
I don't think we're gonna. I mean, I hope I'm right when I say this. I don't
Hmm.
think we're gonna have an SHTF. I don't think we're gonna have a Mad Max. I just think that our standard of living is going to be very, very greatly degraded, and
Yeah.
I think that this has all been planned. Right?
Hmm. Oh, I
It,
believe it's been planned
yeah,
for longer than
our
I've been
standard.
here.
Yeah, our standard of living is going to be very greatly
Hmm.
degraded, i.e., Venezuela, maybe Argentina, maybe
Right.
Zimbabwe. So, if you want to be able to upkeep your standard of living, then make sure that you prepare now because
Hmm.
I read an article from Venezuela, I don't know, about 6 months ago, where there was
Yeah.
a gentleman saying that he took out a 6-month loan to purchase a tube of toothpaste.
I remember you talking about that
Can you
and selling
imagine
their
that?
gold and things like
Yeah.
that to get a
People were
little
buying
loaf of
food
bread or something.
with shavings of gold. But can you
Yep.
imagine taking out a 6 month? I think it was a $5 loan. I think it
Right.
was for 6 months to buy some toothpaste.
I
That's
remember
where I
that.
believe we're going to be headed. I believe that our dollar is going to eventually not disappear per se, but it's eventually going to be devalued so much
Hmm.
that, well, heck, people are already taking out loans to buy food. People
Yeah,
are
you
already
can
taking
finance
out
your
loans.
groceries.
Yes,
Yes.
people are already now financing their groceries, so we're halfway there.
Yes.
So, anyways, that's where I think we're headed. I don't think we're gonna be headed in. Will violence pick up?
Oh,
Absolutely. Violence
it's
always picks up when the economy downturns, but it's not, in my opinion, it's not going to be a Mad Max type of a scenario. So, I tell people that I don't prep for the end of the world. There's no sense in prepping for the end of the world. But what you
well,
want to
if,
do
if
is you
it's the
want to
end of the
prep.
world, then I just
Yeah.
would make sure that everything was
Exactly.
organized.
Exactly. So why prep for the end of the world? If
Yeah.
you're prepping for the end of the world, you should be okay with your creator
Yeah.
first and foremost.
Yes.
But
Amen
I
to that.
prep in order to make sure that my family has the things that they need, and then
Correct. And
after that,
you
that's
have
it.
your you have some new extensions in your family, but for
Yeah.
myself, pretty much my mother passed away 12 years ago this month. So she was only 70. So my daughter
Mm.
doesn't really have any
Your mother
grandparents.
passed away this month.
No, it's 12 years ago this month.
Oh, okay. I was
Yeah.
gonna say,
So
oh
she was
my
only
goodness,
70.
man.
Yeah, she was
Okay.
only 70. I'm the only female of the family of her children and all the half siblings I have. I'm the only female. So I have all
You
brothers,
know,
but you know,
oh, you know what? We're gonna have to finish it up here in a
I know.
minute, but
Yep.
this is something that a lot of people disagree with me on, and I'm okay with saying it.
Hmm.
But I believe that we have to prep for humanity. I believe
Yeah.
that we have, if we can,
Right.
if
Right.
you can try to prepare with the mindset that, hey, I'm going to help my community. If you can, if you cannot, then you cannot. You have to take care of your house first. But I
Right.
believe we have to prepare for humanity as well, because in all honesty, if things go south the way that we're thinking they're going to go,
Hmm.
and how do we want to be on the other side? Do we want to be animals on the other side? Or do we want to be human beings that care about one another on the other side? You have to make a choice. So I believe that it's important to prepare to help as much as you can or are able to as well.
Yeah.
It's not a very popular subject matter to talk about amongst the preparedness community, but
Right.
I believe that even in the worst of times, you can help your neighbor, and and that will actually make things better for you. But then again, that's really a personal thing that people have to find within themselves to do.
Yeah, I see a lot of yes, Seabass, I agree. The only way to survive is to stick together, as long as
Yeah,
they're people you trust. Which Seabass is one of them that I would trust. But as far neighbors around my area, even being in a large, middle and upper class area, I'm not that way because I hide all my money. So, and I pay cash for
good.
things.
Yeah,
So I just, yeah, all we have to do is watch UK. We're not far behind them. That is probably
No,
true.
we're not.
And
When
yeah,
the EU goes, we
yeah.
are right next. I've told folks that once the EU goes and the
Mm-hmm.
pound goes, you better get ready in a hurry, because we have 2 weeks, maybe 6 weeks at the moment. I'll put it at about 6 weeks
Right.
before we actually crash over here. There's something that I don't talk about very often on my channel because it's a little bit complicated, and
Mm-hmm.
I try to make, when it comes to finances and economy, I try to make it as simple as I possibly can, because I know that most people are not, educated in how the economy works on a macro level
Mm-hmm.
and finances work on a macro level. So I try to make it as simple, but there's something out there that's called the euro dollar.
Right.
And you have to look that up. What is the euro dollar? And that, ladies and gentlemen, is one of the reasons why when the EU goes and the UK goes, or the pound goes and the euro goes, we are going to go, because there's euro dollars out there, which are dollars, real dollars, that are being printed out of thin air, but outside of our border and not by our central bank.
Right.
And many people really don't understand what that means to the value of the dollar here when the EU and the pound goes.
Mm-hmm.
When that happens, those dollars that are outside our borders, they have to go somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
And we're
Right.
the only place that they can go when no one else takes them. It's right here in the United States of America, and we're going to feel that wrath.
Comment from Shiltron Munitions: be careful, the rich will be the meanest when they feel all is lost. And that is true, because they have not had to, I agree totally, they haven't had to live half the way that most of the average people like us have, if everything's handed to them.
I'll tell you what, I think that if we have a complete collapse,
hey,
the
look
rich
who's
are
here.
going to be fleeing for their lives.
Yes, there's Gray Man is in the house.
Gray Man is in the. Hey, Gray Man, what are you doing here? We're not giving away any silver.
Not yet. He says, "Great live. God bless everyone. Glad to see that you made it on.
You're doing well, brother.
You got here a minute before we have to, or a couple minutes before we have to kick off here, so we can go over to nutrient survival. And they better send me some goodies, because I got to try some out. But I'm definitely going to be using their codes to get a couple things and try out their single packs, see what things I really like. So that's something I'm interested in adding for sure. But yes, I am definitely one person that I started probably 15 to 20 years ago, keeping my money out of the bank. I don't keep money in there to cover a bill at all. I'm down to the littlest amount possible to keep it open.
Oh, really?
But right before I saw your video last night,
I keep enough money in there to cover a few months worth of bills, but I also
I keep it out of there.
Cash.
If they're still open, then I'll put my money in there and then send my bill out. Otherwise, I'll go find a money order or something and put it in the mail. I'm not going to trust the banks anymore. I have zero trust in banks.
Yeah. Well, I think that it's hard for me to say this, but a credit union, in my opinion, is a much better option.
I've had some before,
because usually a credit union is
backed by the people.
It's kind of like owned by the people, right? And run by the people. I can actually go vote on what our credit union wants to do. So in a way, but you have to do whatever you're comfortable with doing.
Yeah, I've had to do that.
Paying your bills without having money in the bank, then that's great. As long as you can do it. If you're comfortable leaving some in there, that's fine too. It's up to you.
I'm a cash person because I want all my investments on my person. Well, not on me personally all the time, but I want them.
You want to have liquidity. Yep. You want to have your assets.
Liquidity is definitely there, and all those things. Yeah. And then the last thing I'll say is what was I going to say? Oh my goodness! Right before your video last night, I had just checked my daughter's. They have a special account for people that are differently abled, where you can put money in there, and it doesn't count against them for their benefits they receive for disability. So I just checked it, and there was a $300 loss in a month in her account.
Is it like an investment account?
It's an investment account that she can take money out for.
Oh no, yeah. I mean, that's
but $300 in 1 month.
The thing is that what people don't understand is this: people that put their future on paper or digits on a screen,
right?
They're going to end up losing, if not all of it, almost all of it. And that's just the fact of the matter. That will happen. So whatever money I have in the bank,
Mhm.
I plan on that money one day just being gone. One day
Right.
I'm going to wake up and that money's going to be gone, or a very large portion of it will be gone.
Mhm.
I just plan on that, and that's going to happen to pensions. I mean, we can go into that BOE, the Bank of England thing.
Oh,
Man, it
if
has a lot to do with pensions, but we don't have time.
yeah. If it
We
was
got to go to
me, you,
nutrient
and
survival.
Gray, it would be at least a 3-hour live stream
Oh, I
because
couldn't handle that.
Gray was 2 hours when I was on his. So, and then, but thank you so much. I
Oh,
appreciate you
thank
being on
you.
here. I know there's
Well,
a
thank you
ton
for
more
having
we
me.
could talk about because I'm so passionate about almost all the things that you talk about. And I love the heads up that you give us for things like
Well, thank you.
I have a video of me being out driving all over the place, finding feminine products for my young adult.
Very important. Very
But
important.
I was, literally, I was like, it was insane, but you know what?
Yeah.
I'm glad I did it. And I get those weird gut feelings and I'm like, okay, I got to go get some stuff. I got to go get this.
Yep.
Or I need some more, freedom sticks, and I just do what I want to do. But I appreciate you coming on my channel.
Well,
You're my
thank you.
inspiration for
Yeah.
doing my channel. So I
Thank you
hope
very
that,
much. I appreciate you inviting me. I really
yes,
do. So
I'm
thank you so much.
very happy. And hopefully we can all pop over and win some goodies from Nutrient Survival because
Let's go do it. Let's go
I have
win.
never tried
Oh
their
no,
coffee.
actually, you know what? I think they canceled it today.
Did they?
Well, no, I was just saying that so there'd be less competition
yeah.
for me to win.
Yeah. All right.
No, okay. Thank you,
Well,
Michelle. Thank you for
yeah,
having me, and
thank
God bless
you.
everyone. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen,
Yes.
for joining in today.
Thank
Have
you, everybody, for
a
coming.
great day.
And we'll see you probably on the flip side here very soon. Take
All right.
care. Love yous. God bless.